Today I'm going to talk about how Regina Daniels' billionaire husband, Ned Nwoko, grabbed a massive piece of land in Udumoje, Igboko, his hometown, to build a private university, destroying the sources of livelihood of many poor farmers in the process. But before we get into the video in details, if you are new to my channel, please click on the red subscribe button to subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon to be notified anytime I drop new videos. Follow me on Instagram at Ejimozi, EJIMOZY. I'm always active on Instagram. Just follow me there. So let's get right into the video. Ned Nwoko's hawkish acquisition of the community's land began in the year 2000. While he was serving in the House of Representatives, Ned Nwoko requested for 33 hectares of the community land for a dairy farm and factory. He convinced the community that the dairy farm would provide jobs for the youth and ultimately improve the economy of the community. Initially, the community had given Ned Nwoko 33 hectares of land to build a dairy farm, but he failed to build the dairy farm, but instead, he used the land to build a private resort, which houses his personal lodge, a commercial poultry and fish farm. Then after, Ned Nwoko applied for another piece of land to build an international standard golf course and for building a university. This time, he applied for 90 hectares of land to build the international golf course and the university. Considering the fact that the initial 33 hectares of land given to him to build the dairy farm he failed, instead, he used it to build a private resort. So some members of the community, led by the newly crowned king of the royal family, kicked against Ned Nwoko's new demand of the 90 hectares of land. They argued that Ned Nwoko didn't use the 33 hectares of land he was initially given for what he requested it for. They also argued that he should first exhaust the initial land before requesting for a new one.
He has not been able to use up that 33 hectares. He didn't build the dairy farm. He didn't build the fish farm, nothing. He just erected this massive, house there where people come to visit him. 5 years ago, he turned around to come and ask for another 92 hectares or 95 hectares from an agricultural, we are farmers. And we said, look, our population is increasing. The land mass is not increasing. Only you, we gave you 33 hectares. You have not given an account of what you've been given. You turn around to come and ask for another 35.
However, Ned Nwoko on his side argued that he had the rightful claim of the land. He claimed that he secured the approval of the additional 90 hectares of the land from the late king, who he claimed also directed the land allocation committee to map out the land. To back his claim, Ned Nwoko presented a letter dated April 10, 2015, signed by the late king, Albert Nwoko, who died in 2017. In the letter, the late king indicated that the community was going into partnership with Ned Nwoko. However, after the new king, Chukwunonso Nwoko, succeeded his father as the king of the community, he countered Ned Nwoko's claim, stating that the late king did not approve of Ned Nwoko's additional 90 hectares of land. The newly crowned king broke ranks with some of the chiefs in his late father's cabinet, who had sided with Ned Nwoko to approve the land.
Talked about the university, talked about the golf course. These are things that will benefit your community.
The motivation you don't know about it.
We are not against development at all. We appreciate, we welcome it. Go through due process. Exhaust the 33 acres you have. That is our ground. Exhaust it. Tell us
and use it for the purpose you said.
What else you need. I mean, don't get carried away. I'm an educated person, I'm an engineer.
The controversy surrounding the 90 hectares of land deepens when King Chukwunonso and his brothers presented letters that were signed by their deceased father, the late king, debunking the approval letter presented by Ned Nwoko. According to the copies of the letter obtained by Premium Times, the late king stated that the activities of Ned Nwoko should be restricted to the 33 hectares of land allocated to him in the year 2000, restricting that he has not approved of the additional land requested.
How he manufactured that letter, which has a lot of inconsistencies, that is his own. But even that same natural ruler wrote 3 letters disowning that thing he was carrying around. One privately to him, which he signed for, before he now started telling the people, since he didn't want to adhere to what he said, look, I didn't give this man any land. the 3 letters are there, and it is because of it that he invited the police to start harassing the now natural ruler, who was a crown prince then.
Ned Nwoko accused the newly crowned king of forging the signature of the late king on the letters he presented. While the newly crowned king accused Ned Nwoko of holding invalid letter that his late father later disapproved. The disapproval of these pieces of land caused misunderstanding between Ned Nwoko, the newly crowned king, and the members of the community. This misunderstanding caused disagreement between the members of the community, where some members of the community sided with Ned Nwoko, while some in support of the newly crowned king. The war is now between Ned Nwoko and the newly crowned king, Chukwunonso Nwoko, both from the royal family of Nwoko. Meanwhile, reports stated that Ned Nwoko got related to the Nwoko's family because his mother is from Nwoko's family.
His mother is a princess of the Nwokos. His mother, Ned's mother, Honorable Ned Nwoko's mother, is a princess from the royal family. So we are related.
While there are pending lawsuits surrounding the approval of the 90 hectares of land, Ned Nwoko has commenced the building of the Star University on the 90 hectares of land. Because the community land is no longer as big as 90 hectares of land, Ned Nwoko invaded into the farmland of the citizens of the community, destroying the sources of livelihood of many poor farmers.
By 28th of March 2015, I am saying 5 days after, he pulled in bulldozers, supported or protected by people in police uniform and police paraphernalia. What I mean is police van, police gun, and then in uniform. Maybe they're not policemen, but for us, we can't tell the difference. You see what I'm talking about? They supervise the bulldozing, which continues up till tomorrow. The only young man who was bold enough to go in there into his farm to say, "What are you people doing?" It was the same police that arrested him, took him and charged him for what? Attempted murder.
Obiajulu Nwoko, a 87-year man, an old man, just left the hospital because I arrested him. He took over his land, asked his mobile policeman to throw his motorcycle inside the bush.
At first, the newly crowned king Chukwunonso Nwoko summoned the meeting of the royal family of Nwoko family to address the lingering controversy surrounding the approval of the 90 hectares of land. But some of the members of the royal family who were in support of Ned Nwoko insisted that only the Ezeani, which is the assembly of the whole community adults and the highest decision-making organs of the community, has the powers to take such decisions. Hence, a meeting was fixed. On May 18, 2017, a day of the Ezeani meeting, a fight erupted between the youth loyal to Ned Nwoko and the youth that supported the newly crowned king, which forced the meeting to be rescheduled. On May 23rd, the new date of the meeting, a bus conveying about 30 hoodlums arrived at the scene, disrupting the Ezeani meeting, and the thugs unleashed mayhem to some of the community members. It was a mindless attack that claimed 2 lives, left many respectable men and women, young boys and girls of the community dehumanized, where properties and cars and valuable items were vandalized or carted away. It was a tragic sight that confounded both police and human rights bodies to visit the community for investigation. Subsequently, houses belonging to Ned Nwoko's loyalties were attacked by youths loyal to the king of the community. Several people were injured and a motorist from Benue State was killed in the process, though his body has never been found. Also, a year after the attack, Mr. Ilo died at Federal Medical Center in Asaba. Although his death certificate obtained by Premium Times says that he died of cardiac arrest and sepsis, but his family members claim that he died from the internal injury he sustained from the beating from the members of the youth of the community who attacked him. This was when the court and the police were involved. Both Ned Nwoko's side and the newly crowned king's side blamed each other for sponsoring the attack that happened on May 23rd, 2017. Ned Nwoko accused the newly crowned king and his supporters for terrorizing the community. He also charged them the allegation of murder.
Some of our men, innocent men, are in Kuje prison 1 year anniversary for terrorism and murder. They don't know nothing about.
After the attack on the 23rd of May 2017, police started arresting those who were believed to be associated with the violence that happened, including the newly crowned king, his uncles and supporters. Among those first arrested were Mesa, Ocheyi, and Ofo. Chukwuma Nonso, an ally of Nedunwoko, alleged that he saw Mr. Ocheyi shoot Mr. Kumaru, the motorcyclist from Benue State, while Mr. Ofo helped to carry the corpse in the wheelbarrow. The duo were charged and remained in the Abo prison for 3 years before they were discharged and acquitted. In March 2019, the president of Idumoje Uboko Development Union, who is on the side of the newly crowned king, was tried on a 2-count charge of terrorism in the Federal High Court in Abuja, alongside 9 others. They were accused of destroying houses belonging to loyalties of Nedunwoko. While they have been granted bail, not all of them were able to meet the bail condition of 50 million and property in Abuja with up-to-date tax record. Some of those charges are still being held in prison.
Earlier you talked about some people that were in jail.
Yes.
You said, have they been charged?
Yes, some of them have been charged. Terrorism and murder, Very
Are the
strange.
cases on?
Yes, in Abuja. And they're on bail with 50 million naira bail bond and a property in Abuja. For an offense in Delta. Ask yourself, we don't want to go in, I'm not a lawyer. How did the case get to Abuja? To tell you all the dirty things that are happening. As I'm talking to you, the guys are there. 50 million bail bond with a property in Abuja. Is it achievable? It is just to let them stay there almost permanently.
Meanwhile, counsel of the accused, Mbane Fonwoko, wondered why they were charged in Federal High Court in Abuja, where there is a Federal High Court in Asaba, which is closer to the jurisdiction where the alleged crime acts were committed. If not because of certain elements who want to punish these innocent people, the case should be handled in Asaba, he said. But more troubles were to come about 1 a.m. on July 18, 2020, and policemen stormed the palace, breaking doors and windows in search of the newly crowned king. He was later whisked away in Gestapo-like manner to Asaba.
The police comes in 15 vehicles, all armed at 2 a.m. to break down a palace, all the doors and everything, and arrest the traditional ruler of the place, put him in handcuffs. What you have not investigated, and you just take him.
On July 19th, not more than 12 hours after he was arrested, a special police force from Asaba raided the palace in a company of Nedunwoko's ally. Although nothing was found after digging some places in the palace, the newly crowned king and 5 others were charged with the murder of Mesa Elo and Kumaru. The charges were later dropped by the State Department of Public Prosecution due to lack of evidence. This did not go down well with Nedunwoko, who alleged that the Attorney General of the state was compromised. Attempts by the traditional rulers in the state to wade into the crisis and settle amicably has yielded no positive results. It was agreed that all cases in court relating to the Idumoje Uboko's land dispute should be withdrawn with immediate effect, and that no case or petition should be accommodated, while cases of banishment, fines, and pronouncement should be struck out. However, not all cases have been withdrawn in court. As of February 2020, there were 15 cases, including 3 criminal cases against the newly crowned king, 6 human rights suits challenging the police arrest and detention, and 6 civil cases about the contentious approval. Out of the 6 civil suits, only 2 were filed from Nedunwoko's camp, and the other 4 were filed by the king's camp.
Now, I have gone to social media to address the president. Look, I know you have too many things on your plate, but these troublemakers might not be known to you. Ned should be known to you. I'm calling his name. He's related to me. We tried to settle this thing within the family. It hasn't worked. Within the town, it hasn't worked. At the state level, the traditional heads in the place have tried their best, but this man won't listen to me. So he's related to me.
Have you gone to court?
Yes.
Yes, we have court cases. He has so many court cases that he has instituted. In fact, he has abused the court process so much so that a particular lawyer has been punished.
He's a lawyer, isn't he?
He's a lawyer. No, he's a law graduate. He cannot practice law here.
Oh, he did not go to law school.
He did not go to law school.
Okay.
But I think overseas, he was a lawyer. But
Thank you very much for having time to watch my video to the end. I have a question for you in the comment section. What do you think about Nedunwoko's land acquisition in his community and the conflict between Nedunwoko supporters and the newly crowned king supporters? Drop your opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. Turn on the bell notification icon to be notified anytime I drop new videos. Follow me on Instagram at Ejimozi, EJIMOZY. I'm always active on Instagram. Just follow me there. Thank you very much and God bless you.
It's a boy, Ejimozi.